This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. We had recently done a podcast which was called A Shout Out to Supportive People. We talked about a couple people that are relentlessly constructive and supportive to myself and to others, and how important those people are in one's life. Today's topic is somewhat the opposite of that, but it's also a motivating thing. So today's topic is embrace the energy from people that take shots at you. So here is the thesis. Anyone who's ever done anything successful has almost certainly had a spot where people have discouraged them or told them they can't do it or taken shots at them. And there are two things that one can do when that happens. One could decide that they can't do it and take that discouragement to heart, or one could press forward. And so what I've seen, and I'll give my own personal examples in a second, is anybody that's built a business or built a legal practice or built a consulting practice or built a private equity fund or raised funds has had lots of shots at them taking on early in the process. And they've had to fight through that to the point where they start to have some success, and then that success begets success. But anyone who's tried to raise funds for a new fund, has tried to build a practice, has go through some period of time where it was really hard to raise funds, where people sort of laughed at them for doing so, or something else, or building a practice, the same thing. And most people slow down when that happens, and that's the wrong response. I remember early on in building a newsletter, a colleague of mine, and I think of this story often, said, I get your newsletter, I use it for toilet paper. And I had a choice at that point. Do I take that as, oh my God, I'm doing something so badly, or do I press forward? I chose to press forward. Another colleague said that you'll never be able to build a business that competes with that publication because they're so entrenched. And again, I heard them and we plowed forward, but it was fuel for me to drive forward. And that person became a very supportive friend, a very close colleague. The first one, not so much. The third one was an opposing publication at some point started writing nasty articles about myself. And this was very concerning. I didn't like this. This felt very bad. And you have a choice again. Do you plow forward? Do you make adjustments? How do you develop? But I think that the story is, and the takeaway is really is, there's a great line from business, and I forget who said this, is you haven't really made progress until somebody punches you in the face. And the concept being is, until somebody punches you in the face, or if you're a salesperson, until somebody says no to you directly, you haven't really made progress because you're not like putting yourself out there. And it almost goes to that Teddy Roosevelt concept is far better to be in the arena and have people taking shots at you than be a commentator on the arena. And so we look at this. We look at these people that take shots at one and view it as you have to choose, if you want to build anything of substance, anything at all, to use that as energy and fuel versus using it as something that puts you down. And you're going to get some of that. And quite frankly, if you don't get some of that, it almost means that you're not making enough effort or putting yourself out there enough if no one's ever taking a shot at you or trying to discourage you. I saw it so much. One of the great people that was early on a success, or excuse me, not a success, but hugely supportive of me is someone that it doesn't listen to this, I don't believe. It's a guy named Kurt Foyer. And Kurt at one point said to me, there's an old Japanese adage that the nail that sticks up gets knocked down. And I was early on building a legal practice, and Kurt went out of his way to say to me, to pull me aside and say, look, you have to realize that people are going to put you down, but you should keep on persevering in what you're doing. And those kinds of words of encouragement are worth 1 billion times more than all the different shots that people take at you. But those shots that people take at you should be used as great fuel for your fire. The greatest example of this ever is Michael Jordan, who did a whole Hall of Fame speech on this. We're not nearly as anywhere thing like Michael Jordan. The closest I could have Michael Jordan is I wear the Michael Jordan high-top golf shoes, which I'm so excited about. Everybody wants to be like Mike still. In any event, thank you for listening. Use that as fuel for your fire, those people that take shots at you versus discouragement. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity Business Podcast. Again, call or text me anytime, 773-766-5322, and we'd absolutely love for you to get your comments, your thoughts, and ideas for topics. And thank you to Chanel Bunger, our producer at Executive Podcast Solutions. What a job she does. Thank you so much.